Hi, hello everyone. How are you doing? Well, I have a little bit of a cough, so sorry about that. I know it's a little bit annoying. um, Today, I want to talk about soulmates. Yay! Especially for you, Melanie. I know that we've been working on that. Um, to be completely honest, this is pretty new for me in the sense that I started to receive so much information. Um, Everything started on February the 7th with some kind of dream, to say, or trip, or whatever you want to call it. And since then, I've been awakened to something that I even didn't believe that existed, and it's the soulmate. And you're like, what? Yeah, I never thought that. I never paid any attention to it. I thought, no, I just don't care. Never had the idea of it, and I thought, oh, this is kind of ridiculous. Oh, what did I put my paper? Okay, I want to show you. Okay. I made it like a paper so I can graphic. Yeah. So to be completely honest with you, I never was. Yeah, I have never been into soulmates. There's nothing like, but life like kind of put me in front of it. It was like, this is what you have to do, okay? And I always with my guys like, no, I don't want to do that, but it really doesn't matter. Like whenever my guys tells me, oh, Gabby, like this year, this is what you're gonna do. I'm like, no, no, I just don't feel like it. And they're like, just so you know, nobody's asking you. All right, like, so inevitably, I had to look into it. So basically, questions. What is a soulmate? So, first of all, we need to get rid of the romantic feeling of like, oh, it's like to share love in this life. And no, like, sorry, but no, like, this is what happens. So, and I made this. Look at this. Wow, so much technology for me. All right, so okay, this is the spirit. All right, so in the moment of the explosion of the flower of life and the beginning of your spirit, there's this amazing energy created. Okay, so what happened? That force is a magnetism created by love, and it's not the love that we think like, oh, I'm sure like we're gonna listen Adele together and hold hands. No, it's about the love of creation, love and life as one. Okay, in that moment, the spirit is created. Now, the spirit feels this self love for itself and for everything. So, in that moment, it questions, how can I see that love? How can I experience that love? You know, so in that moment, it decides that the only way to experimenting what love is, it's to split and create a reflection of itself. Okay, so to experience love, because we can say, oh, I know what love is, but when it's only within you, but you don't have any reflection, it's like, oh, I know my face. Okay, like how? Well, I don't have a mirror, but I touch myself and I can see that there's like the bump here, and there's some two things equal here, and one thing, But then you're like, okay, what if you have a mirror, and then you can actually see yourself? So, so something like that's what's going on. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna create a equal but opposite reflection of myself, so I can see myself and experience my own love. Okay, so it's not the love for someone else, it's the love for itself. And that's why I know that you hear this a lot, but I want you to understand where it comes from. What they say, okay, to find true love, you have to first love yourself, right? Which usually is like, no, I want someone to love me. and your self-esteem is 6 feet under, and then all your relationships are bad because you're asking outside something that you actually need to find within you. So when your spirit is loving itself, it decides to create an opposite reflection to experimenting its own love. Okay, so it splits like this. Okay, this is one spirit, and these are two soulmates. You see, like they're opposite, and they have, like, this is the symbol of the spirit. And then you can see here they have the same symbol, but they're opposites. Okay, so then these also contain like positive and negative and up and down, because it contains itself. So can this be split again? Yes, it can split again and again and again and again and again and again. So, but when it splits, and this is something I want you to know, like, this is my theory, this is, well, it's not my theory, it's what my guides explained to me. Is it the true and universal true? There's no other option? I don't know. Like, probably, like, there's people who has other explanations. So, like, don't take as, like, this is the true and nothing but the truth. No, I mean, this is my truth. This is the truth of me and my guides regarding my mission. Okay, so they may be giving me a perspective so I can understand things that will come ahead for me and get me ready for something, so I can understand why. It may not be your truth. So, but listening to me, it may trigger in you, like, oh, you know what, actually it feels like it is that way. You know what I mean? So it's a way to remember when you listen to different things. So that's why I'm never close to hear other truths or other things, because I'm closing a chance that that thing could trigger a memory in me, you know? So this is for you to start to remember, maybe. So then when they can split again, they can keep going. But if you see, like, the symbols, this symbol and this symbol are equal, because they belong to the one spirit. And this belongs to this one, but they created their own pattern. And they still contain this. So it's like a family tree. Like, the genetic keeps going, and there will be patterns that will be the same, but at the same time, each soul will create their own symbols. Okay, so if this, for example, soul meets this soul, would they feel like they're alike? Yeah, of course, like they're sharing this and this symbol. Okay, so they are from the same lineage of soul. So it'll be like, oh, you look so familiar, you're so familiar to me, I feel so comfortable, oh, I'm sure we're soulmates. And they kind of are, you know, so it's not like just one. But, and here's the thing that I found out, it's not the same. These first two coming from the one, than these first two, or the mix of this with this, or this with this, or this with this, or, you know, keep going. It's not the same, because this is the beginning. So this is the beginning of the spirit, and that beginning and that force, it is only contained in these two. They're like the strongest part of a chain, and it contains these two. These two contains the explosion of the spirit. It is in this memory only. And that's why these two in the lineage of souls are the most important ones. Which one are you? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It matters just for these two. Because if these two can get together, they can enlighten all of the rest. But the energy that they can create is this energy, which is the energy of creation, that can light up the planet, the galaxy, the universe, is such a strong energy that can change the whole world. Yeah. So, and these two, yeah. Oh, these two and these two. But as strength as this one, no. No, it will never be the same. But that's why these two souls probably have a different mission. They have their own important mission because we're all part of one. So if these two say like, oh, we don't want to do that mission because, no, you have to, because it will influence the rest, like a circle. Do you understand? Like, each of them is important. So it's like a tree. Like if you have a family tree, but there's one of them that is pulling the rest back, and you're like trying, and then it's like, no, it's like my great grandfather that he doesn't want me to move on. So, and it's true because it happens. You're like, I'm pushing, I can't go. And then you check your lineage, and there's this guy who's like, no, I don't want that in my lineage. So I don't want you to succeed in this. And then it pulls everybody back, and you're like, oh, okay, let's clean these, and let's talk with my great grandfather and see like, hey, maybe you don't belong to this tree anymore. You should go somewhere else. In this case, it will not work because it's about spirits. But this is so you know that it doesn't matter where you are, it is equally important. Then, then I wanted to talk about social. Like, this is the technical part of a soulmate, but then socially, like, is it like a romantic thing always? Like, no. And I wanted to talk about this. Like, I remember like a past life that it wasn't in this planet with someone that it was that it is my soulmate, because there's only one in that sense, and like we are these ones, like this and this. So these two. And then we have lineage, but we're in that base. And we were like in a planet where the concept of love and family sorry, I'm still with this cold, wasn't as we know it as humans. It was more like it was similar to the bees or to the ants. Like, everybody had something to do, and that was the task, and it was a feeling of all one, So it wasn't like individualistic or romantic. It actually, like, as far as I remember, there wasn't even any kind of touching, like as we do, like kissing or no. And actually, I can't remember if I were female or male, because it seemed that we could actually change depending on what we needed. So it was more like a practical life, And I remember looking that person in the eyes, which weren't like this. It was more like a black thing, like, yeah. And feel like some kind of emotion of recognizing each other. And I remember thinking, oh, this is gonna be very productive. I just remember that. I just thought, like, we're gonna be so productive now. Like, we're gonna get things done better, or it's gonna be fun in the sense of community. So the universe didn't, like I said, didn't experience it as a love, as romantic as we know it, because in the rest of the universe and the rest of the planets, there's different cultures, and still you will find your soulmate. That is not your other half, because as you can see, we're one. Okay, but that fusion takes you back to the origin of your soul, and that's why it's so strong and important. Now, it's always romantic? No. Then I remember other life, being sisters like twins, being brothers like twins. So it's not necessarily romantic. Now, I remember like my first 2 lives in this planet. We were in Atlantis, and yeah, I remember being there and having a family, and then one of the last ones too. And in that life, we were parents to do energy healing. That what I do in this life, actually. The difference was that we were working together in that life. And people, for example, who had emotional things, like they just um, lost their connection with everything and one. So we will mix our energy, creating that magnificent energy field, and kind of take back that person, like someone who, for example, would steal something, or fall into depression, or have a lot of anger, or just feel lost, and any kind of emotional thing will work together and restore the energy field of that person and take it back to the connection with the one, up and down. We used to do this a lot because it was like from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven. So in that life, but then the following lives, not that I remember. So this takes you to ask yourself, like, then what is it for? It really doesn't have a purpose unless you decided that it has a purpose, or unless the universe and the guides decided that you have a purpose. And like I said, the only purpose that I really could find is the energy fields that it can create. And like I said, it seems that it comes like from the very first two that split. Now the others, they could have, like I said, they could be brother and sister, they could be good friends, they could get married too, they could be, but the mission and purpose would be just what you decided that is gonna be that. It could be to build a beautiful family, it could be to build a beautiful friendship, it could be to build whatever. Like, it's something so personal that I can't tell you. You need to find the reason and the mission and why and the purpose. For the universe, it's exactly the same. It doesn't matter, because we are influenced by our culture, where they tell you, oh, your soulmate, you're gonna get married and you'll be romantic. But that's because we are humans, we like that, we have that romantic feeling. But if you're born in a different planet, it'll be, no, it really doesn't matter. We're gonna be just productive here and get a lot of things done. You know what I mean? Like, it is really depending where you're born. So it doesn't have like a purpose. You have to give it a purpose. Doesn't mean that my soulmate is the love of my life. No, it doesn't mean that. No, like I said, it doesn't have any purpose. It's what purpose you decided before you were born that it will give you a purpose. Yeah. So it's not necessarily romantic. Sorry about that. It's not necessarily going to be your husband. You may find the love of your life is someone else, someone that compliments you, someone that you have a lot of karmic connection, and you just decided in this life to be together and be super happy, and it's not your soulmate. You may not be, and it doesn't matter. You can still be happy. And it all goes back to the beginning. It's all about self-love, to love yourself. Like, you will never find the love of your life, whether it's your soulmate or not, if you don't first love yourself, because love attracts love. So that love has to come within you. You have to find yourself, I am, and from there, then you can build the love. And then by cause and effect, your environment will attract someone that will love you as much as you love yourself. So the only way, anyways, to find a soulmate, if you want to, even if it's not a romantic thing, it's to love everything and love nothing. It's when you get to that point where you're everything and you're nothing, because you're love. And love is as the universe sees it. And like I said, it's not a romantic thing, it's about the love of life. It's just a magnetism. It's this strength that it's in everything, but at the same time it's in nothing, because it's all in one, but then it's one in all. Yeah. I know, it's kind of disappointed for some people. I know, you wanted like a romantic thing, and honestly, like, personally, I never thought this could be possible. I I wasn't even looking for this information. It just struck me like a ray of light. Like, Gabby, wake up. This is it. I'm like, what? Yeah. Um, and I had to, download this information to tell you. So at the end of the day, just keep loving yourself. It's all about you, and you, and not in a selfish way. In the sense of love. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Like, understand that you're a magnificent being that was born from a spirit that wanted to see in you the reflection of love. So how can how can you doubt that you're that wonderful thing? Just love yourself, and then love will come to you. And it doesn't need to be your soulmate. It just needs to be this wonderful person that will reflect your love, so you can experience love in this life. And if you want to make it romantic, go to Hawaii, or I think that this culture that we're living in, it has like that beautiful thing. Sometimes I think of the third dimension, and I think there's two things that really get me, and one is food, because I enjoy food. And then the other one, it's like the touching. I love to feel the touch of the other. It's so nice. Like, you don't have that in other dimensions. It's not the same. Yeah. So enjoy this world, enjoy this planet, and enjoy to love yourself. If you have questions, you can text me. Remember to follow me. If you're on YouTube, follow me on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, follow me in Instagram. If you're on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, and you can text me or make a comment if you have questions about it. I'd be happy, to help you to clean your lineage, so we can start to open up. That I work as a therapy, so this is what I do. I clean the lineage. I use all these techniques that I remember from back of those days to basically start to connect you with one again, and that you can start to be in the pulse of this planet and the universe. And also, I know it's hard to love yourself because of the lineage and past life and cultural things. So I can help you to clean all that. So you can text me anytime. We can set up a session. If you have, general questions that will help others, put them in the comments. So maybe, I like to answer the comments. I don't, I enjoy it a lot. So thank you for watching me. I know it's kind of a long video, but I had so much to say, and it was like, oh my God, I want to share this because there's so many people asking me privately about it. So thank you for your time. I really, really, really appreciate it, and I send you like this, tight hug. Okay, bye.